Hello everybody, Mr. Tilley here. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the latest project that we've started. We're going to be mapping our school forest and then collecting some data about the various habitats. We're starting with soils, and today in class we split into groups. Each group was assigned one of the habitats within the school forest. Those habitats are we define as the prairie, which is outlined right now in green, what we call the wetland, outlining in blue, and our woodland, or forest, which I'm outlining in red. Each group is assigned one of those three habitats. You're going to start out with the mapping. You'll be using a compass and our pace to do the mapping. A couple of hints with the mapping. First of all, every group member should collect the data. If you want to use one group member's pace to measure the distances around the perimeter of your particular habitat, that's fine. Make sure that whoever's pace you use, you know their conversion. How many meters do they cover every time they take a step? For the woodland, the westernmost border is right up along the houses, the homes. So my recommendation is start down by the tennis court, head west, and then you will see a little path that starts to jet into the woods. Map that path as the outline or the border. It'll head out toward the wetland, and then later for the westernmost section, this section here in blue, we can use Google Earth to create a slightly more precise map for that section, which is hard to reach. Same thing goes for the wetland. If you can't get right up against the woods with the wetland, get as close as you can, and then we will make up the difference using aerial photography. For the wetland, you can sneak through the woods. If you head down past Jerry's Rock, sneak through the woods to access the area of the wetland bordered by Cross Country Park. When you're making your maps, this is important. When you pass a path, so let's say that I start here in my prairie and I'm walking that direction. As you pass the path going that direction to the west, make note on your data sheet how many paces in you experienced that path. Then when you complete the entire perimeter, you'll come back, okay? You'll come back, you will then start here, you will get a bearing and a distance for that path, you'll get a bearing and a distance for that path. When you make your map inside, you'll sit down, you'll draw it out, you'll know where to start those interior paths. So, little hint, as you walk, keep track of how many paces in you experience any intersection of a path or any other feature for that matter that you want to map. That will be very helpful for you. You're going to select the soil spots. Select these spots based on some characteristic that you want to investigate. So, for example, one of the things that we're going to look at is how soils differ from one location to another. So how do the soils differ horizontally? If we collect a soil in the prairie versus the wetland versus the forest, how are those soils going to look different? So as we go down, will we see differences, and if so, what will those differences be? And then how do we connect those differences that we see from one position to another? How do we connect those to something present at each location? So is it related to the habitat? Is it related to the place in the landscape? What is the reason we're seeing differences in our soils? You get to decide where those soils are collected. Do so with some question in mind in terms of how those soils will differ as we move from one space to another. Ultimately, our goal is to pull out of this activity those factors which affect what a soil looks like. Okay. For the soils, as you collect the soils, take very careful measurements in terms of the depth. Every time we see the soil change, you collect a new bag of soil. Keep in mind that you'll be collecting soils not only for your group, but for each group each hour. Okay, so when you come back inside, once you create your maps, you will then add to your maps your data. The soil data, you're going to add soil data not only from the map that you collected, the soils that you collected, but also from the soils that every other group collected within the habitat that you were assigned. So make sure that you take very careful measurements, collect a lot of soil, and you should have enough then to make your profiles plus the profiles for the other students in your class. Okay, this hopefully will help you get started. This should take us a while to collect all this data. Bring a coat. It's starting to get a little cold outside. We will go out pretty much rain or shine. So, okay, bring any questions you might have to class, please.